introduction of our running back, Ashton Jeanty. We're going to go ahead and start with questions, so if you wouldn't mind stating your name and affiliation, we'll start with Vinny over here on the left.
Pretty much care with the Review Journal, welcome to Las Vegas. I know it's been less than 24 hours, but what have the last 24 hours been like? And do you give yourself a little bit of time to sort of appreciate the moment before throwing yourself back into work?
Yeah, excited to be here, but yeah, it's been a pretty crazy 24 hours. Not much sleep, but just a lot of excitement, celebrating with my family, and last night I was pretty much up the whole night, just thinking about what a great honor it is to be a Raider.
Hondo Carpenter with SI Ashton. The tape tells everyone about your physical talent and ability and where you're picked. But the two men sitting next to you have put a lot of emphasis on character. You've described yourself as a Christian hiding in the disguise of a two-time All-American. How much is faith a part of who you are as a man?
It's everything, and that's what I've been rooted in. That's what's helped me get to where I'm at in this spring, and I'm just thankful for that relationship with the man upstairs, because it's given me so many opportunities.
Levi Damien, USA Today. Last night, your coach had mentioned that Marshawn Lynch was kind of blowing up his phone. How excited he was that they drafted you. What does it mean to you that somebody like Marshawn was that excited that he could come to the Raiders, and have you had a chance to maybe speak with him?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've always been a fan of Marshawn. He's one of the first running backs that I watched. So to kind of have that support and him showing love is everything.
Ashton, Sean Zittel, Vegas Sports Today. To that point, Barry Sanders, who you finished college making history alongside him, he said on his social media he can't wait to watch you in the NFL. Barry's not a guy that talks a whole lot. Just what do you think of Barry coming out and saying something like that?
Yeah, he's just a great guy. I've got to meet him in person a few times, and that just shows his character, shows how much he loves the game of football, and obviously the support of young guys in the game right now is great.
Yeah, Ashton, it's Tashawn Reed from The Athletic. I know that you didn't really play running back full time to your senior year of high school. What went into making a decision to play running back, and how have you learned it so quickly to be as good as you are right now?
Yeah, I felt I always had a natural ability to break tackles, make guys miss, and that was the first position I started off playing. It was just the way it happened when I moved to Texas. We already had a lot of great guys at the position, so I kind of had to wait my turn, but I always practice, and I knew once the time came I'd become one of the best.
Excuse me, Ashton, Ryan McFadden from ESPN. There's so much talk about your vision on the field and the way you can break tackles, but one thing to me I think is underrated is your pass catching ability. How do you think that will be able to translate to the NFL, and how you think that will be able to help the Raiders moving forward?
Yeah, I think it will translate very well. I don't know how much you plan to have me in the passing attack, but yeah, I think it be a great opportunities for me to catch the ball at the backfield and be an asset to this offense and just show off my versatility.
Levi Edwards, Las Vegas Raiders. Notably, you decided to stay at Boise State when there's a lot of people coming at you, and you talked about how much you were developed there in that program. What's the biggest thing you can say that you took from being a Boise State Bronco that you believe can help you as a Raider?
Just the hard work, discipline, doing the things that nobody else wants to do. That's what we did each and every single day there, and it's paid off, and it's helped me grow into the young man that I am today.
Ashton, Case Kiefer from Las Vegas Sun, kind of playing off that, you had the season you had 2 years ago, and you became kind of a national phenomenon. I know opponents were tailoring their whole game plan towards slowing you down. You still had an even better year. What went into that to being able to have that production when you really became a focus, and what lessons from that can you carry into the NFL?
Yeah, just taking my preparation to the next level, by preparing for what defensive attacks we're going to get, how we're going to attack them as an offense. And I think most importantly, taking care of my body, right? Just being available, to take 30 carries, each and every week, and understanding that, it's me versus 11. Once the ball snaps, there's 11 guys coming after me. So just having that mentality that nobody's gonna take me down.
Nick Walters, Channel 13. Ashton, you said before the draft that you thought that the guy sitting next to you would view you as a fit for the culture they're trying to build. How do you view yourself as a fit to what these guys are trying to build in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I think, you know, the most important thing they said to me, I asked them what's their, you know, values as a team, and they said they're looking for the right people. They're looking for great people along with great players, and, you know, I think my personality fits that, and, you know, the character will go a lot longer than anything that I've done in the football field.
Ashton, Heidi Fang, Las Vegas Review Journal, just to that, you already spoke with Max Crosby, what was his message to you, and have you had a chance to speak with any other of the teammates yet?
Yeah, you know, just super excited, you know, ready to go. We got a little partnership with Sack, so I kind of already been in talks with him, and, you know, he just congratulated me and, you know, said how he's ready to go to work with me.
Ashton, out of the Las Vegas Review Journal, one of your new teammates who I'm sure you'll get to know very well, Jackson Powers Johnson, he said that you run like you're angry at the turf. I guess, what do you think about that, that statement, and I guess how would you describe how you play?
I think that's a great description. I've got so many different ways to describe that I run, but I think my favorite, somebody said that, you know, I was a rolling ball of knives.
Ashton, your new head coach is considered one of the best evaluators of running backs in all of football. So when he picks you, what does that mean to you personally?
You know, I put a lot of hard work and dedication into the game of football, and, you know, I think he's seen that, you know, throughout my career, and, you know, obviously he's had a lot of great running backs, and, you know, he sees the next great one in me.
Ashton, when you lived overseas, you weren't exposed maybe as much to American football. What fueled your love of the game?
I think most important, I think relationships, like all the people that I've been able to meet and, you know, build connections with, and, you know, had I not been playing football, I don't think that would be the same.
You're one of the most productive running backs in college football history, now in the NFL. What are your expectations in the pro level?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'll get 2,600 yards again right off the rip, but definitely to, you know, just be a great asset to this team, a great teammate, and just help bring the wins home each and every week.
Actually, it's a different time in college football with the NIL and the transfer portal. I'm sure you probably felt that a little bit in terms of coming off your 2 years ago, going into this 2024. What made you stay at Boise State when others have taken the opportunity to go make some money in NIL?
Yeah, I mean, from the first day I stepped foot on campus, I had the goal of, you know, developing into a great running back. You know, sitting right here, being a national football player now, and I think most importantly is just to, you know, leave something behind, you know, that could last forever, that legacy, and, you know, you might go somewhere else for another year, make some more money, and, you know, that's kind of out the door. I think you can't put a price tag on that. You know, it's invaluable.
Ashton, Taylor wrote to Channel 13, how did growing up in a military family shape you as a person and as a football player?
Yeah, it shaped me really well. You know, talk about discipline and handling adversity, always dealing with change, you know, having to do things on the fly. And, you know, I think that, you know, it's kind of a lot like football. You know, there's always going to be things that don't go your way. You're always going to have to change something in the game. And it's really helped me grow into the man I am today.
Ashton, Zeke Trezevan, SI, you spoke a little bit earlier about how you can't put a price tag on loyalty. How excited are you to play in front of and for the Raider fans and Raider Nation?
I'm super excited. I'm already loving this fan base, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You might get another nickname like Beast Mode, but you've gone by Deuce for a while. It's even in your Twitter handle, even your Zoom name last night. You know, how did that name come about?
Yeah, so, I mean, I was born on December 2nd, so that's the day greatness was born. But also, all my family, you know, my older brother, uncle, it's kind of like the family number. So that's really the main reason why we're number 2.
Actually, I know a lot of new faces around here, but last year, running back here was another Boise State guy with really good character, and Alexander Madison. I know I've spoken a lot to him. What has he told you about just Vegas and Raider fans and that sort of thing, and been able to talk to him to you?
Great community, great fan base, you know, a lot of fun to play here, and, you know, it's it's a different level of, you know, pride to wear the, you know, silver and black.
I know you got mom and dad here. Can you talk a little bit about what they've meant to your journey?
Yeah, they've meant a lot, you know, having that support system behind you, no matter what, you know, whether things are going good or bad, and, you know, just somebody you can talk to about anything, go to with your problems, and obviously, you know, you're supporting me through the whole way, the whole process. It's been amazing to have them.
Harry Ruiz with the Spanish Radio broadcast. Talk about the responsibility of being not only a first round pick, but being a top 6 pick in the NFL. How are you going to take that?
Yeah, it's a privilege, you know, to be in this space and to be a first round pick, and you know that's what I've worked to do, and I'm excited for that. You know, I want that type of pressure on me and that type of expectation, and you know, I'm just ready to go to work and, you know, prove why, you know, they took a chance on me.
Ashton, I know it's been less than 24 hours, but you're now on a roster with Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. There's a ton of talent here. How much does that almost make you better that teams aren't gonna be able to just assume it's always Ashton?
Yeah, that's real exciting, you know, to have, you know, other guys who can, you know, attack defenses down the field, great quarterback and receivers, tight end. So it's just gonna make a all-around great offense.
In your mind, was it the Raiders all along?
Yeah, you know, once I seen the statement about Spike Take's son, I knew it was gonna happen. You know? Gotta keep the family together.
Jack will be writing no more statements. We're gonna shut him up.
Actually, you've lived all around the world, but now you're about to move to the desert. So what's your mindset, just kind of adjusting to Las Vegas?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I guess probably gonna have to start wearing some sunscreen now or something, you know, once it gets hot. But I came out here from Mountain West Media Day, and I think it was the hottest day ever. But I think I'll be all right.
Are you guys all set? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ashton.